Andy Farrell has named his British and Irish Lions squad to take on Joe Schmidt's Australia in Brisbane this Saturday, and with it comes a selection that's as calculated as it is controversial to some Lions fans, depending on your national persuasion. Still unbeaten on the tour down under, the Lions arrive at the first test with momentum on their side, but make no mistake, Farrell has doubled down on experience, leaning on players he trusts rather than rewarding every in-form rising player. Here's what stands out to us from today's Matchday 23 announcement. Let's start with the back row. Farrell's decision to go out without a traditional blindside flanker raised eyebrows early on in his squad selection. Instead, Farrell backed hybrid players like Tadhg Beirne and Ollie Chesham to do the job, mixing them with a deep pool of open sides, 5 of them to be exact. While combinations with open sides at blindside often look disjointed in the build-up to this test, Beirne and Chesham brought shape and balance when they were called upon to slot into that number 6 shirt. Their line-out ability and physical edge in the tight exchanges gave the structure to the Lions' 1-3-3-1 attack system and made life far easier for the number 7s like Tom Curry in particular. And it is Curry who gets that first nod at the open side, edging out Jack Morgan and Josh van der Flier, despite both players being in stellar form. Curry's test pedigree, World Cup experience and past line success gave him the edge in this decision. Ben Earl, ever the wildcard, slots onto the bench thanks down in large part to his dynamism and also his utility ability. Next up in the midfield, Gary Ringrose's injury effectively made Farrell's decision for him. In his absence, Scotland's Hugh Jones starts at 13 with his national captain Sione Tuipulotu at 12, a duo that have thrived on this tour and been fantastic for Scotland in recent years. Had Ringrose been fit, however, it's likely we would have seen the familiar Irish pairing with Bundy Aki inside him, but as it stands, Aki moves to the bench. If Jones and Tuipulotu fire in this first test, they may just lock down those shirts, but one slip and Farrell has proven time and again he won't hesitate to return to what he knows and go back to Aki and Ringrose. And yes, there is no Owen Farrell in the squad. The most high-profile omission, arguably, is the coach's own son. Owen Farrell impressed in his recent cameo, but is left out of the 23 entirely. Instead, Marcus Smith takes the bench spot, offering cover at fly half and fullback, giving Farrell plenty of flexibility should injury strike. It's a bold call, but one rooted in versatility. Smith's inclusion allows Farrell to cover more ground with fewer subs, especially given the flexibility of Tuipulotu, Jones and Hugo Keenan, as well as Tommy Freeman in the backline covering all of those bases. Still, don't be surprised if Owen Farrell is brought into the fold should things go wrong in Brisbane. This might be a temporary exclusion, not a permanent one, depending on how the test series plays out. Up front, the Lions look built for war. Genge, Sheehan and Furlong are a form and ferocious front row. Itoje and McCarthy in the second row will bring absolute chaos at the breakdown. And then the back row of Curry, Beirne and Conan is packed with jackals, carrying and relentless work rate. So that'll bring a real balance to the pack. The bench doesn't lose a step with Ronan Keller, Andrew Porter and Will Stewart, Ollie Chesham, Ben Earl. It's all horsepower and impact for that final few stages of the test. In the backs, the Scottish midfield already has a psychological advantage. They've beaten the Wallabies before, very recently in November in fact. Out wide, Tommy Freeman and James Lowe both bring massive power and finishing ability. Pulling the strings for them will be Hugo Keenan, Finn Russell and Jamieson Gibson-Park, who will dictate the pace and the creativity of this squad. So who can feel unlucky in terms of selections? A few big names do stand out. Van der Flier, Morgan, Finn Smith, Scott Cummings, Finlay Bealham each made strong cases, but were always just outside Farrell's inner circle in terms of the selection. His selections have always favoured who he trusts over trends, so again we're not surprised by that. That's been Farrell's way with Ireland and now with the Lions. He values what's proven on the biggest stage more than what's flashed hot for a few weeks. So again, we are unsurprised by these selections. So what does it all mean? On paper, this Lions side looks more powerful, more experienced and more cohesive than their Wallaby counterparts. Realistically, for us, only Angus Bell and Joseph Suaalii would challenge for spots in a Lions starting 15. But Test rugby, and in particular Lions series, aren't played on paper, and Joe Schmidt is a master of disruption. He knows how to take down teams that seem unbeatable. Remember how he got the All Blacks to unpick Ireland at the World Cup. Farrell's selections won't please everyone, but if they win in Brisbane, all criticism will fade. If not, expect the selection debate to ignite wildfire next week. Either way, buckle up. This Saturday, the first test of Lions vs Australia isn't just a match. It's a referendum on Farrell's vision for this squad. So let's see how they deliver. Let us know who you think should have been made into the Matchday 23 and which players will be very lucky to be in that squad. Just drop those lines in the comments below. Thanks for watching the video and we hope you enjoyed it.